Is there anybody that does not have one of these sheets? I gave them out yesterday. If you were absent, I should have given you one today. You need one? If you need one, come over here and get one. Anybody else need one? You will be able to find it in your Google Classroom too. You'll be able to find a copy there. Okay, Monday. On Monday, you are going to work on the number line worksheet that I just handed you, either group 1 or group 2. Okay, so that is going to be your work on Monday. You've got to take that home. I will put a copy of the group 2 one in the posting for Monday. If you're in group 1 and you lose yours, then you're going to have to do the worksheet from group 2. So I would not lose it, but I'm not going to put both up there because then that's going to be confusing. All right, so adding integers on a number line worksheet, I just gave it out. Is there anyone that did not get one of those worksheets? Okay, so on the top, we're going to write Monday 9/21. Monday 9/21. And go ahead and put your name on it. We're all doing that right now. Yes. You don't have a pencil. Do you know where to get a pencil? Yes. Would you get up and go get one, please? So Monday 9/21 and put your name. Doesn't matter which group you're in. You are still doing it on Monday. Everybody has their worksheet. Anybody that does not have a number line worksheet. All right, so let's just look at group 2. If you're in group 1, you just have to follow along. If you're in group 2, we'll do one of yours together because you've got a few more to do. Solve using a number line. If you were absent yesterday, you'll learn how to do that on the video that you were watching this morning. But when we are solving on a number line, where do we always start with our pencil? What number? Just shout it out if you know where I'm going to put my pencil. 0. You're always going to start with your pencil on 0. Then we are going to go to the first integer. In this case, it is -2. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go to -2 and draw an arrow so I can tell what direction I traveled in. I am going to pick up my pencil and go right above that. Now I need to go 6 in the which direction? Positive. Now not to the number 6. 6 hops, right? So 6 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm back at my answer, or I'm at my answer of +4. So when you are working on yours, you need to make sure that we can see both arrows, that we can see where your answer is, that you've answered it, and you circle your answer. We are grading this for a grade, not a completion grade, a right or wrong grade. Like, so if we go through here and it's a red hot mess and we can't tell where your arrows are, it's wrong. If we go through there and we can't tell what the answer is, it's wrong. If a 7 looks like a 2 and we can't tell what number it is what? Wrong. Now, you don't have to be the neatest, but we do have to be able to tell what you're doing. If you are in group 2, there are 2 challenge problems at the bottom. Do you have to do a challenge problem? No, they are extra credit. They're worth 5 points each. Each of these have 4 add-ins. How many arrows do you think you need to have if you have 4 add-ins? What do you think, Elijah? 4. You need to have 4 arrows if you have 4 add-ins. All right, any questions on your Monday assignment? Okay, so let's go ahead and put that to the side. Let's flip over. Let's look at the back. Tuesday, you're going to have some boom cards on adding integers. There are not that many of them. I think there's only 7 cards with 2 questions each. They are not difficult. It is not a completion grade. It is a right or wrong grade. Most people have been finishing it in about 10 minutes and they have been getting a 100. So when I go through and I've been looking at boom cards, there are some people that are taking like 4.5 minutes and their average grade has been a 40. So does that mean they've been taking their time and doing their work, or they've just been clicking through to get done? Clicking through and getting done. It is not a completion grade. It is a right or wrong. At the end, whatever it says that you got right or wrong, that is going to be your score in the grade book. Boom cards will be there Thursday morning. You need to screenshot your score and turn it in on Thursday. All right. No, Tuesday. Let's change this. Y'all, I'm sorry with my days. I get confused because of the two different groups. Okay. You should have changed that to Tuesday yesterday. So, boom cards on Tuesday. Questions about boom cards? Anybody that never been able to log into those? All right, Wednesday, you are going to have an adding integers activity. That's a Google Slides activity, and it will be available Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and we're going to look at what that looks like. It will be there. It's going to be like the math interest inventory and the welcome activity. It's going to be like those, where you just do it all in Google Slides and submit it there. See if I can find a copy of it and we can actually look at it. Oh, we can look at this one. All right, so it's going to look like this. There's going to be several slides. There's not as much work as it looks like. This first slide is simply an example slide. There is no math for you to do on this first one. It is just an example of the blue counters are positive, the red are negative, what it might look like. So this first slide is just an example. Is there any math to do on slide 1? No. Good. Slide 2, you're going to use these blue chips and these red chips. You're going to drag them up. And you are going to model the problem. And then you're going to click right here in this little square. And you're going to type the answer to the problem. Questions about any of those? No. So 4 problems to do. The signs are the same. Should be pretty easy. Slide 3 is another example problem. Or slide. It just shows you what you do when the signs are different. Here's their positives. Here's your negatives. You cross off 0 pair. They went through and they showed the answer, positive 6 down here in the bottom. You don't have to do that. You can leave those off. And because I can just see your answer right there of 6, right? You don't have to show those again. I'll probably go through and take those off. All right, so make sure that when you do your slide, so this one's an example. Is there any math to do on this slide? No. Okay. Next one. Here's where you're going to do yours. You will pull up your, let's see, negative is 5 red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 positives. Make sure that you line them up. All right, does everybody know how to make a line to cross through a 0 pair? Do you see up here this line tool? You can just create a line. You might have to practice around a little bit, but you should just be able to take it and make a line through there like that. Might be hard to see. You can change it. You can make it bolder. You can make it an 8-point. So you can play around with it and make it a little bit bolder. This is a good time to learn how to use all these features. You know, if you make a mistake, you can hit this back arrow, right? And it undoes everything that you've done so far. Are you all familiar with that? All right, so you are going to drag up your counters, and then you're going to put your answer in the squares. We are grading these for right or wrong. All right. So slide 4, there's 4 problems. So far we're up to 8 math problems. That's it. Then you have this slide. It's a drag and drop. So you solve the problem. So 8 plus negative 9. Anybody know the answer to 8 plus negative 9? Mackenzie? Negative 1. So you find the answer card, you take it, and you drag it, and you drop. That's all you're doing on this one. Dragging the answers and dropping. Everybody okay with that? Last slide. On an extremely cold day, the temperature may be negative 10 degrees. If the temperature rises 8 degrees, how will you find the new temperature? Type your thoughts into the text box below. So when you type the thoughts, you're giving your answer and you're telling how you got your answer. It could be you used a number line. It could be you used the rules. It could be you used counters. So give the answer and tell how you solved it. That's it. Any questions on this? So everyone will have this on Friday. You'll answer this, and then you will just submit it right in Google Classroom. Questions? No, that looks like super fun. Do what? What day? Oh, what day will they have? Why don't they correct me? What day will you have this on? Wednesday. Wednesday. Well, I keep saying Friday, right? Because the other group's at home doing it today. I probably need to finish drinking my coffee. Okay, no questions? All right. Thank you, Miss Spence. Keeping me straight. Okay, so let's get your math folder out. Get your math folder. We are going to put in the front of our math folder, you should put this and your number line activity. Both of these should go in the front pocket of your math folder. Put it in there. If I get a phone call and somebody says they don't have that form, I should be able to say, if they look in their math folder, it's in the front pocket. Everyone should put it in their front pocket. And then I want you to turn in your math folder to this flow chart. It is right after the absolute value page. We did absolute value page. This is already in your math folder. Let's turn to that, please. And I handed this paper out a little while ago. You need this paper. So you want this flow chart, and we want this skills practice paper. Do you have one, James? Did I give you one? Here, come here. Anybody else not get this skills practice page? Oh, okay. All right, so today we're going to work on adding integers using the rules, just the rules. So we've done counters. We did number line yesterday. We're going to look at what it looks like just to use the rules, because when we start dealing with integers that are larger, it would be hard to put out 84 positives and 52 negative counters, right? Or to make a number line big enough to solve those problems. So we do have to know the rules for adding integers. We're only going to look at this side today, adding. Next week we're going to start subtracting integers. But let's look at the rules. So we figured out some rules last week when we were using the integer chips for how to add integers. So we can use this flow chart when we're doing our work to help us. Okay, so if you're adding, the first question you ask yourself is, do the integers have the same sign or different signs? So if they have the same signs, you add the digits, and then you keep the sign the same with your sum, your answer, right? If you're going through and the integers have different signs, we don't add, what do? You subtract, and we keep the sign of the digit with the greatest absolute value, or the one that is bigger. Now, not necessarily the bigger number, but the bigger absolute value. So let's look at this skills practice. Some people may need to keep this up to help themselves when they're dealing with the rules. Go ahead and put your name on the top. And let's look at number 1. Number 1 says 5 plus negative 8. So if I'm going to use the flow chart, would these have the same sign or different signs? Different signs. So I'm going to go down this side. So if it's different, I'm going to subtract their absolute values. So what that means is I do have to kind of change the order because 8 has a bigger absolute value. So I would have to change that to 8 minus 5. What is 8 minus 5? 3. And then I have to look to decide on the sign which one has the greater absolute value, 5 or negative 8. Negative 8. It's negative, so my answer is negative. So your answer is negative 3. If you want to verify that, you can do 5 positives, 8 negatives. Cross off 0 pair. This is why that subtraction works, because we're taking away that and we're left with negative 3. So you can always, with these problems, you can double check with the strategies that we have. All right, the second one, negative 3 plus 3. Well, these numbers are special, and so they should be easy to see what the answer is. Does anybody know the answer to negative 3 plus 3? Somebody besides the two that keep raising their hand. What do you think, James? 0. How did you know it was 0, James? They're opposites. Very good. They are opposites. Anybody else know any other vocabulary words that describe the relationship? Elijah? They are a 0 pair. They are additive inverse, right? Those 3 different things. Okay? All right. Number 3, negative 3 plus negative 8. Are those signs the same or are they different? The same. So if they're the same, we add the digits in, keep the sign. 3 plus 8 is 11. They're negative, so my answer is negative. Number 4 tripped a lot of people up in cohort 1. So I heard answers like 0, 14, negative 14. Anybody know the answer to number 4? Mackenzie? Is it 0? Are they a 0 pair? Are they opposites? Negative 7 plus negative 7? Nope. See, you got to be careful on some of those. They do. And that was not an uncommon mistake. That was the most popular answer, actually. But negative 7 plus negative 7, the signs are the same. So what do? Add the digits in, keep the sign. So the answer is, if you know the answer, shout it out. Negative 14. All right, let's go down now and let's look at problem number 13. 5 plus 11 plus negative 5. So if you wanted to use mental math to solve that, you might change the order using the commutative property. Which 2 digits might we think about adding first? If you wanted to change the order, which 2 might you want to start with? Somebody that hasn't answered a question yet. Somebody that hasn't answered yet. Where might we want to start? Anyone? Someone? Someone we haven't heard from? There's really not a right or wrong answer. It's just kind of a preference. What do you think, Corbin? Yes. 5 and negative 5. Why do you want to start there, Corbin? Yeah, they're a 0 pair. 5 and negative 5 make a 0 pair. They're opposites. Additive inverse. So if I start there mentally, I get rid of those. What is my answer, Corbin? 11. Very good. Positive 11. Everybody good with that? So when you're adding one that has more than 2 digits, you can work left to right, or you can change the order as long as you pay attention to the sign in front of it. All right, let's look at number 17. The Dolphins football team gained 16 yards on their first play. Underline the word gained. That helps you know if that 16 is a positive or negative. Then lost 11 yards. Underline that word lost. That helps you know if 11 is positive or negative. Write an addition expression. That means it's a plus problem, right? To represent the situation. Find the sum and explain its meaning. So, you've got to figure out what the math problem is. It's going to be an addition problem like some of these. You've got to find the answer and then explain its meaning. That means go back to the problem and explain what the answer means in context of the problem. So what I've noticed is lots of people like to say, well, first I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. That's explaining your steps. That doesn't explain the meaning. Explaining the meaning is, so if you have a positive number, that means at the end of both plays, they gained so many yards. If you have a negative number, it means after both plays, they lost that number of yards. So you've got to put your answer back into the context of the problem. All right, let's look at 18. Demetrius deposits $120 into his account. Deposits, underline that word. 1 week later, he withdraws $36. That tells us if it's positive or negative. And remember, in your notebook, we've got these lists of words to help us if you're having trouble. It's on the very next page. Write an addition expression, that's a plus problem, to represent this situation. Here's the question that you're answering after you get your number. How much higher or lower is the amount in his account after these two transactions? We won't know exactly how much is in his account because we don't know how much Demetrius started with. Did he start with 0? Did he start with 500? Did he start with $100,000 in his bank? We don't know. But what we will know is we will know how much higher or how much lower his bank account is than before the first deposit. So you've got to make sure you go back and you say, his account is blank higher, or his account is whatever number you get lower, right? A positive number is higher. If you get a negative number, it would be what? Lower, okay? All right, so we're going to work on this until the fire drill. If you were absent yesterday and you're watching yesterday's video, go back to doing that. Everyone else, if you were here yesterday, you're working on this worksheet. And then when you get done with it, you pick it up and you take it to a teacher and you let us check it. Questions? Everybody's good? Okay.